the time and he'll put you to the test. He's like a running man in his world, war is less. And if you want a test, can't best, bring your best. So make you spell it out, bring your best. In this world, where life is strong. In this world.
What can I say about the Legend of Zelda series? It's one of the most successful video game franchises of all time, and it happens to be number 1 on my list of best video game franchises ever. Now the Zelda game I'm going to be reviewing today is A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo. This is a game I played a lot when I was like maybe 8 or so. It was just so fun and so easy to play, especially with all the puzzles. They were easy to solve for some reason for me. But besides that, let me take you back to my childhood and show you the awesomeness that is A Link to the Past. The story begins with Zelda telepathically trying to contact Link while he is sleeping. She tells him that she's locked in the dungeon of Hyrule Castle. Link wakes up and notices that his uncle is armed with a sword and shield, and tells Link that he's going out for a while and tells him not to leave the house. Link decides to disobey and follows his uncle. When Link goes through a secret passage to the castle, he discovers his uncle is seriously wounded. His uncle tells him to go save Princess Zelda and gives him his sword and shield. Link then makes his way into Hyrule Castle, fighting off guards until he finally discovers Zelda locked up in a cell. Then they both escape Hyrule Castle and go to the Sanctuary. A man in the Sanctuary tells Link that the wizard Agnem is trying to break the seal made hundreds of years ago by the 7 sages from Ocarina of Time. They used the seal to imprison Ganon in the Dark World, which was the sacred realm until Ganon took over and obtained the Triforce. Agnem plans to break the seal by sending the descendants of the 7 sages to the Dark World. The only way to stop him is to use the Master Sword, but in order to obtain it, Link must retrieve the 3 magical pendants: the Pendant of Courage, the Pendant of Power, and the Pendant of Wisdom. And you have to go through 3 dungeons in Hyrule, solve some puzzles, obtain new weapons, and defeat a boss. After you get all 3 of the pendants, you head to the Lost Woods and use the pendants to get the Master Sword. When Link gets the Master Sword, he returns to the Sanctuary only to discover that Zelda has been taken to Hyrule Castle. Link attempts to rescue her, but when he finally gets to her, Agnem sends her to the Dark World right in front of Link. So Link battles Agnem, and after he defeats him, he is sent to the Dark World. Now this is where the adventure really begins. Link has to find all 7 of the missing descendants and fight Ganon. So the story of A Link to the Past is really epic, and it's very well made. A Link to the Past returned to the overhead view from the original Legend of Zelda instead of the side-scrolling view from Zelda 2. In the game, you travel through 2 different worlds, the Light World and the Dark World. You fight enemies the same as you did in the original Zelda, but with some improvements and new features. Let's start with the new features. Well, for starters, when you're attacking enemies, if you hold down the B button, Link charges his sword and spins it around so you can kill multiple enemies. The game features the hook shot, which you can use to attack enemies who are very far away, and you get the Pegasus boots, which makes you run faster, and you get to use magic. As for the improvements, Link can actually move diagonally and pick up items. The graphics for the game were incredibly detailed and fun to look at. And of course the music, which was done by Koji Kondo, who has done music for just about every Zelda game ever made some of the most memorable music in A Link to the Past. Now I give you the final battle. Everything in A Link to the Past was absolutely perfect. I give it a 10 out of 10.